All right, guys, happy Monday here. We've got the last notes of the year. Can you believe we finally made it? And even though we've been making it from our homes for quite a while, we have finally made it. So, last notes of the year, and then the last, I want to say last assignment of the year because it's not, but it's the last assignment on some new stuff for the year. So, let's get into the notes, get through, we'll get to the assignment, and then we'll have you guys on your merry way. So, today, we're going to just be talking about a couple of things about how we can be smart consumers. And again, being a smart consumer just means we're well informed on what we're buying. We're sure that we're spending the right amount on it. We're not overpaying. Hopefully, we're underpaying because hopefully we're not giving them as much money as we want to. But either way, we'll take a look at a couple of things today that will allow us to be a smart consumer. So, first thing we need to understand, and you all know this, is because we know from our time in school together, we've all got smartphones, or at least most of us do. And if we don't, we know somebody who does. So, with that being said, use that phone to do what it does best, and that is go online and look these products up. If you are buying something or paying for something, your best bet is to just go do a quick Google search, do a quick Amazon search. It's probably on there, and just see what the price is listed as. Obviously, there are reasons why prices can be a little more expensive, depending on maybe your state, or could be a scarcity issue that we've talked about before, that supply and demand. But there's no reason to spend $100 more on a camping chair than you would if you were to go to Walmart. There's no reason to give somebody on Facebook Marketplace, for example, $150 more or $100 more for something you can get from Walmart for much cheaper. So just get on your phone, look it up, and see what the price is. And also understand some sale terminology if you're not on Facebook Marketplace and you are in some of these stores that may be having some liquidation sales, clearance sales. Understand what those mean because they are different. Remember, if they're doing a clearance sale, it means they want to clear out the inventory. It generally means that item has been discontinued. They're not going to be getting any more of it. So they just want to get rid of what they've got and use that shelf space for something else, something that they're going to keep refilling and restocking. Because it doesn't really help them if there's nothing left of that item in the back, and then when it runs out, people want more, and they go, sorry, we don't have any. So they'll put it on clearance to let you know, once this stuff is gone, it's gone. It's not coming back. We are not carrying this item anymore. Now, when it's liquidation's a little different. It's not necessarily that they don't have any more of the item or they don't plan on getting any more of the item. But when you're looking to liquidate, you need cash now. Now, sometimes, most of the time, that's going to be because a business is going out of business. So you'll hear a lot of times furniture stores do liquidation sales, and they'll talk about how the prices are never going to be lower. Come get it while it's still here. That's because those are generally going out of business. And it doesn't really help a business owner to have 20 couches left over because obviously they're not going to use all of them in their house unless they've got a really big house. But they're looking to liquidate all of their inventory, get as much cash as they can, because like we talked about, when these businesses go out of business, they need to pay their debts first, so they need the cash to do that, and then they need to pay off anybody who is an employee that needs any money, or not needs money, but is owed money, and then any other shareholders or other people who would be looking to get something out of that business going under. Now, after that, we're going to take a look over here on the right, and we see something called the unit price. And you'll notice that this is something very similar to what you hopefully look at when you're going grocery shopping. Now, you may not look at these little tags here that are blown up, but the unit price, or that number that's underlined on the left in the red squares, those are the prices that we really should be paying attention to. Because if you notice, these are two advertisements or prices for the same exact item. They're both for that low-fat yogurt. Now, while the one that's 12 ounces is $1.62 and the one that's 6 ounces is 72 cents, if you notice, the unit price on those are vastly different. The unit price on the 12 ounce is 5 cents per ounce, whereas the unit price on the 6 ounce is 12 cents per ounce. What they do is they will charge more for generally a smaller package. So if you notice here, while the 6 ounce is technically cheaper in price, it's not cheaper in unit price. And the unit price is what you want to use when you are looking to decide what you want to buy. Now, obviously, if you only need 6 ounces of yogurt for a recipe that you're going to make and you're not going to use the yogurt again, buy the 6 ounce yogurt. But if this is something that you're going to be keeping in your house, you're going to be using over and over again, you want to look at the unit price and get the most bang for your buck that you can. So when you're looking at unit prices, and you'll have to be finding an example of this in your assignment today, just make sure you're talking about how the cheaper unit price is the one to go with. It is not going to be the one that is overall cheaper, because most of the time, 99.999% of the time, the bigger package is going to be the smaller unit price. So when we're looking at unit price, that's what we're talking about there. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is warranties and contracts. Now, the contracts, obviously, if you get a contract for work or a contract from anybody, keep a copy of that contract. But more importantly, for most of us, we'll be using warranties a lot more than contracts in our daily lives. A warranty is basically just not necessarily a contract. It's probably not a great way to put it, but a warranty is just a basically promise from the company that's given you this product that if it breaks, obviously not because you've intentionally taken a hammer to it, but if it breaks, they will replace it or refund it or do something to kind of make it right for you. So that way, the product that's been broken is now not just lost money. I'm not going to go through a lot of examples because there are some very, famous ones to go with, but I don't want to ruin any of the examples for you guys. Just understand that a warranty is something you get when you buy an item, whether it's a phone, a car, a TV, whatever it is. But if it's going to be a process that you'll go through should that item just stop working. Now, again, this is not because you have broken it. It is just because something, maybe wiring went bad, maybe something shorted out, maybe it's something that's defective, they find out later. A warranty is going to be a way for you to get that item replaced with no cost to you or a very minimal cost to you. Now, when we talk about waiting the day for major purchases, just use a 24-hour rule. And a major purchase is something that is going to be a big purchase. I'm not talking about waiting 24 hours to decide if you want to have burgers tonight or pizza. Wait 24 hours, though, if you're going to decide to buy a car, if you're going to decide to buy a TV, or if you're going to decide to buy a washing machine or a refrigerator. Those are major purchases. They're purchases that you're going to be using for a long time. They're going to be quite a bit of money. So make sure you, one, need them, and two, that it is the one that you want to go with. Now, obviously, there are going to be scenarios where you really can't wait 24 hours. If you need a car and you just got your car totaled and you need to go get a new car as soon as possible so you can be, continuing to work, I wouldn't wait 24 hours to make sure it's the car that you want. Just make sure you're doing your research as you go. But when possible, and most of the time it is, wait those 24 hours to give yourself that time. We've already talked about secure websites. We know how to look for those, the HTTPS or the lock. Make sure you've got that in there, and then know the policies that the site has. Because again, we talked about it. When you click agree to the terms, you agree to the terms. Now, we see the nice little picture there. That's from the South Park episode we talked about, the Human Centipede episode. That obviously is not something that would be held. You would not be able to be held to that if you clicked I agree and that was hidden in there. But if it is a generic term in terms of returning an item, getting a refund on an item, processing payment, those generic ones, when you click agree, you agree. So make sure that you just kind of peruse it as quickly as you can or understand what you're getting into when you do those. And then last but not least, when it comes to online shopping, only share the essentials of your order. The UPS delivery guy does not need to know your social security number to deliver that package to you. They need to know what your address is. They don't need to know your driver's license number either to give that package to you. Now, while there will be some items that you'll order that will require you to enter a driver's license number or a social security number, make sure you just understand, one, why you're giving it to them. And if there is any reason you think you shouldn't be giving that to them, then I would call them. Generally, these companies will have a contact number you can get in touch with. Get in touch with them and say, why are you asking me for this information? I don't understand why, if I'm buying a TV, why you need my social security number. It's going to be something that is going to help you a lot more on the front end than on the back end, because trying to take care of identity theft after it happens is not an easy task. And doing something as simple as that is calling that company and saying, why do you need this information to determine if you feel safe with that transaction or not? That could be all you need to really save the headache down the line. And really just use common sense. And guys, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I doubt you're going to be the first person to find this secret treasure that if you sign up for this, they're going to send you $500 a week. Or if you buy this, you can sell it for 4 times what you've bought it for. Use your common sense. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Now do your research. Maybe you did stumble upon something. There are obviously the first people, like we've talked about, who got into things like LuLaRoe, and It Works, made some pretty good money off of those. But they were the first wave to find those. So just make sure you're in that first wave as we talk about it. Now, let's switch on over to the assignment that we've got for today. So for the assignment today, you're going to be finding 3 different examples. And as it says, you cannot use any examples from the notes of the video. I will tell you, right now, I haven't really gone over any examples or too many examples that you really can't use. I would advise you to use the Facebook Marketplace. That is not something I'm saying you can't use, but now you got to do a little bit of searching. So that's where that first example is going to come in. Find an example of somebody who's overcharging for an item. So you're going to use that, what I talked about in the beginning of just looking up an item and seeing that it's the right price. Use Facebook Marketplace for this. That's what I would do. Go to the groups, Charleston Buy Sell, or really any Facebook Marketplace group. And a little bit of a hint for you, look in the comments. A lot of times if somebody's overcharging, there is already somebody coming in saying, hey, you are way overcharging for this, or this is way too much. And then sometimes they even provide the link to the actual product. And that's all you have to do here. Give me the screenshot of what that sale was, what the person was overcharging, and what their price listed was. And then give me the link to the actual product showing that price is less than what they've done. Now understand, if it is just $5 less, that's not really overcharging. I want somebody who is trying to make a little bit too much money on something and trying to take advantage of maybe people who aren't using these smart consumer practices. Your second example is going to be looking at unit price. So find examples of something with a unit price in it. Now notice, it has to be the same item. So like in the notes where we had the 2 for yogurt, you compare the unit price on yogurts. I'm not going to compare the unit price on yogurt to the unit price on milk. They're 2 different items. It has to be the same item, but now 2 different unit prices. So make sure you show me the 2 different tags that there are showing that it is the same item and 2 different sizes, and then explain which one's the best buy using that unit price and explaining why you know it's the better buy. And then your last example for today is find an example of a warranty on an item and explain how long it's good for, because they're not always good forever, and then how you go about using it. So again, we talked about it. Things that get damaged, things that break, can be covered under warranty. I will tell you, you can use examples of a warranty on a car. I'm not going to give you a specific make and model, but understand that warranties on cars do not cover every single thing that can happen to a car. So if you're going to be using that, make sure you're explaining what is covered and then how you would go about using it. Now, most of the time that going about using it is going to a specific person or merchant that they give you. So in the warranty, it will list that. And if it just says in the warranty, for example, for if it's a specific car make and model and they say these types of mechanics, just say that in your answer as well. Now notice with all these, make sure you're providing links or pictures. Links or pictures, whichever one you use, does not matter to me, but make sure I can go back and verify these examples that you've got. Now with that being said, we will have seniors, you guys will have your assignment, which is basically going to be your final review being given to you tomorrow. You will have until Thursday at midnight to get that one in. And everybody else, my juniors and sophomores that are in this class, you guys will get a different assignment tomorrow. Yours is basically going to be a little bit more broken up and a little bit more extended, since we have a little bit more time together. So with that, we will have Google Hangout there all day if you want to jump in that. I will be finishing putting in some grades. Couple of things, if you are going to use the Mimic free 100, you have to get a 33 or better on that. It is not just 33% complete. Your grade must be a 33. And for it to be 33% complete, it must be 33% correct. So make sure you've got that. Make sure if you're going to use Day at the Beach or the free 100s, you buy them and use them. If you don't use them, I cannot give you credit for it, since we make sure to mark in the comments for those assignments what Day of the Beach was used, and I just go back and look at the inventory for that. So if you have any questions as we go, let me know. But other than that, have a great Monday, and we will see you tomorrow.